On April 22nd, 26 Indians were brutally killed in a deadly terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam. After that day, every single person of the nation was waiting for revenge. Though, given the history of surgical and air strike by Bharat to avenge Uri and Pulwama, people were quite assured of a counterattack, but no one knew when. Fortunately, we live in times where lost lives, at least under Modi government, are avenged. History has repeated itself today. India woke up to a sweet revenge. 21 targets across 9 terror camps carried out by Indian Armed Forces. To discuss this very strategic and balanced act by the Indian Armed Forces and the government, I am joined by Major General Retired Dhruv Katoch, who is also the director at India Foundation. Mr. Katoch, was it expected that India will attack this soon?
Well, very frankly, Nishant, I don't think there was any doubt. The Prime Minister had made his intention very clear, and it had been followed up by statements from the Home Minister, from the Defense Minister, and the External Affairs Minister at various stages. So the question was that the whole world knew that some sort of action will be done by India, and it had also been made very clear to everybody that the timings will be the timings will be of the choosing of the Indian armed forces. Now, the Prime Minister also made that very clear that the armed forces will do what they have to do. They will plan the mission, and they have the full freedom to do whatever is required. So, considering that, I think there is no doubt in anybody's mind that India will take action. But there is one thing which I think is very important to understand. It is the power of deception. Now, it was very well orchestrated and announced to the world that we are going to do a mock drill on the 7th. Now, this mock drill for civil defense was supposed to be done in all the border areas. And in a sense, it kept the guard down as far as the Pakistanis were concerned, because everybody anticipated an attack after the mock drills were over, say 3 days or 4 days after that. It came before it. And I think it caught the Pakistanis by surprise. So I personally am not surprised that this operation was carried out. I expected it. The timings we did not know. Nobody knew the timings. Everybody was anticipating it. And I think it has been done brilliantly well.
Because when we were talking about the attack, that we were sure, even the citizens were sure that PM and the Modi government respond to it. But nobody was assured about the timing. Everybody was expecting that it will take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But the timing is very, very different. So how do you see this attack, and what is the significance of this attack at this time?
You see, there are many things to consider. Firstly, it is not a knee-jerk reaction. You know, if the terrorists have carried out this very dastardly attack at Pahalgam, and it was something which was unacceptable. Now, retaliating immediately would have been an emotional reaction. So what they have done was, it was planned out in great detail, and taking on 9 targets spread over 100 plus kilometers, some of the targets between 100 to 150 kilometers in Pakistan, Punjab, that is the Bahawalpur one, it required very, very detailed planning. Number 2, to carry out a simultaneous attack within a space of 25 minutes. Again, it is not just done in a flash of a pan or something that, okay, let's go and carry out this attack. Everything has to be very planned in detail, meticulously. And also, we've got to ensure that when this attack is taking place, all the organs of the state are on one page. So here we are not just talking about the Army, Navy, and Air Force. We are also talking about our intelligence agencies, the political establishment, and India's bureaucracy, the civil administration. So everything was synchronized. And I think as a synchronized operation where all organs of the state came together to show military power, it has been a brilliant execution.
People are relating it with the surgical strike and air strike. How different this strike from the past 2 ones?
You see, when we carried out the surgical strike, that was the first time India actually, we have gone across the border earlier, across the line of control earlier, but this was the first time when we publicly announced it. It was announced by the Indian Army's DGMO, the Director General of Military Operations, to the whole world to say that this is what has happened. We have come. So what is different there was the announcement, and number two, the locations. We did it in 7 locations. Otherwise, generally, you would go to one location, keep quiet about it, and continue with life. This time, we went to 7 different locations and told the whole world. Now, it was supposed to be to give Pakistan a lesson. Okay, listen, don't do these things. Now they repeated it in Pulwama. So then the Balakot airstrike took place. Now, why Balakot was different? Balakot was different. It was the first time we used the Indian Air Force to cross both the line of control and the international border. And it didn't take place in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. It took place in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The target was across. So there were so many firsts in that, and everybody thought that this is something which can't be done. But it was done. Like the surgical strikes. Again, this was a new. And now it became an accepted thing. Okay, if Pakistan carries out a terror attack, India will respond, and the world had become used to that idea. Now, how was this? How was this different? This was in response to Pahalgam. Now, in Pahalgam, what had happened? These people, they carried out the most dastardly killing in the history of independent India. I have in my right from the first day, from 22nd April, I have been stating that this attack was even worse than the Mumbai attack. I agree, Mumbai attack, there were more casualties that took place over 3 days. There was a lot of damage to civil infrastructure.
But this was totally different in nature.
But this was different in nature. You see, what had happened was when they targeted Mumbai, they targeted India's commercial center. In a sense, they targeted the heart of India. Here, they targeted India's soul. I made the statement on the 22nd of April. This is the target on India's soul, or in Hindi, ये हमारी आत्मा के ऊपर उन्होंने चोट पहुंचाई है. It was unacceptable. And that is why the response here has to be much firmer. Regardless of the consequences, this had to be responded to, because we cannot allow these people to get away with an idea that you can kill innocent Indian civilians and get away with it. So what happened this time? Why this response was different? It was carried out over multiple locations. All the terrorists, we have carried out attacks on Jaish-e-Mohammed, 4 targets. The Lashkar-e-Taiba, 3 targets. The Hizbul Mujahideen, 2 targets. Their main camps have been targeted. And in this particular one, while you see, it doesn't really matter whether 20 people or 20 terrorists were killed, or 100 or 200, those are simple numbers. It is the messaging. The messaging is, wherever you are, we will get you. And we will get your handlers too. Now, their handlers are also in trouble. And if the handler means the DGISI and the Pakistani army chief, I'm afraid they are going to get it, including their prime minister, because they have supported this attack at Pahalgam. Anything can be forgiven. Pahalgam cannot be forgiven. That was an attack on India's soul. हमारी आत्मा के ऊपर चोट पहुंचाई है. It is not accepted under any circumstances. And this is only the first phase. These actions will continue, if not militarily,
you said
other
that
ways.
this is the first phase, and the former chief of army staff Manoj ji has also tweeted that a picture abhi baki hai. So can we
Yes.
expect much more attacks at this level in the coming time, or you can say in coming hours?
You see, this is the beauty of it. We don't have to do it today or tomorrow or day after. We can do it after 6 months or 3 months, 1 month, or we can do it right now. That timing is going to cause a great deal of anguish and problem to Pakistan. They will never know when we are going to strike. But that is the military component. How about the diplomatic component, where all our diplomats across the world have gone onto the stage and said Pakistan is a rogue state? How about the economic part of it, by which we will be pressurizing people now to put Pakistan back on the grey list, if not the blacklist, on the FATF blacklist? How about the economic aspect as far as agriculture is concerned, where we will tell them we are not going to give you the water, which is not yours anyway. Those rivers are ours, which the Prime Minister has said. So it is going to be multi-front. Civil society, we have banned these people, we don't want them. Their cricketers have started crying. Each one of them is going to cry. They have bled India for too long, and we have taken it. We said, okay, hopefully they will change. But after Pahalgam, no. That was the last straw. They crossed the final red line. As they say, जो हमारी हिंदी में कहावत है, in Hindi, Lakshman Rekha उसने पार कर दी, they will have to pay. And from our side, the English version, we have crossed the Rubicon. For us, there is no turning back now. We will fight them to the finish. And the fight doesn't have to be military. There are multiple ways in which we can fight this battle. Military is one of the ways. Not it is only one of the ways. There are other ways to destroy this country, and they are more effective. Baluchistan is getting restive. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is getting restive. Gilgit Baltistan, the messages are coming. Please help us, liberate us from these tyrants. So what is left of Pakistan?
So
The
you talked
Sindh
about
movement is
Gilgit-Baltistan, you talked about Balochistan. So can we see that in coming times, strategically or some other way, Pakistan will be divided in some more parts like earlier in Bangladesh was created? Because people are talking about it.
I think that time is going to come. You see, what happened was in 1940, 47, when Balochistan became, the Kalat was actually a free kingdom at that time, right?
Hmm.
Kalat, of course, is a major part of Balochistan. So that was taken surreptitiously and by falsehood by Jinnah, and by military force they merged it into Pakistan. The Balochis never wanted to be there. And they have been fighting for their freedom right since then. There have been many freedom movements there, and this one is now becoming strong. Every day, the Pakistan army is suffering casualties. India has not interfered in that. They have said, okay, it is their battle. But I think perhaps it is time for India now to give psychological and material support. I'm not saying we give them weapons, etc., but we can recognize a government in exile in Balochistan. And there are many things that we can do politically. We are not doing it yet. But the Baloch people, they want their freedom. So we will see as to how that goes. There's a problem on the Durand line. We will see how that goes. And as I told you earlier, economic pressure, diplomatic pressure, political pressure as far as the Indus Water Treaty is concerned. This country we are going to break now because we have crossed the Rubicon and they crossed the Lakshman Rekha.
हम लोग कह सकते हैं सर कि हर तरीके से पाकिस्तान को साइडलाइन करने की जो स्ट्रेटजी है और हर तरीके से तोड़ने की जो है वो आने वाले दिन में अपनाई जाएगी.
ये मेरे ख्याल से शुरू हो चुकी है. It is not that we are going to do it in future. The strategy is already in place. This strategy of isolating Pakistan is not new. It started within, I think, 3 years of the BJP, the first tenure of the BJP. You see, Modi 1.0. And after he went to Lahore and then they carried out the first series of attacks. After that, the government of India said, no more. So then we ceased contact with them. And we started isolating Pakistan, and Pakistan has been isolated. So that is the continuum. It is not something which we have started now. It has been and that is why Pakistan was isolated internationally. For a very long time, they were on the grey list of the FATF. But now we are going to intensify that. So we are going to see this, the political pressure, the economic pressure, the diplomatic pressure, and where required, the military will act. Because ultimately, I think, you see, it is not these terrorists whom we kill, they are simply terrorists, they are third-rate people, it doesn't matter. Who were the brains behind this attack? And there were 3 people who were the brains. The DGISI, Lieutenant General Malik. And then it was the army chief. So I think they are the two people whom actually the international court should get for trial for crimes against humanity. And they should be tried as terrorists. And I think the Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, because he was responsible, he would have known. They would have kept the Prime Minister in the picture. This is what we are doing, and whether he liked it or not, he would have given his approval. Ultimately, they are the 3 people who are responsible. The rest of the lower level and all that, we will get all of them. The lower level also we will get at some point of time. It's a question of time. Hafiz Saeed, his family, he's already admitted 10 members of his family have been killed. Right?
They have released a statement also.
Yes. And he is saying, he was literally crying. All of them are going to cry for what they did in Pahalgam. This is what I'm saying, You cannot go and kill innocent people based on religion, identify them, and then shoot them in the head in front of their wives and children. What level of depravity has this community come to? Is this the Pakistani culture? Is this the Pakistani Muslim culture? Now, that is the question the Pakistani people have to answer. Is this what they have become? Are they worse than animals? And if they cannot answer that question, then, as I said, India has also crossed the Rubicon. There is no turning back now. वो दोस्ती का हाथ आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा. So they're an enemy country. They'll be treated like the enemy, and the visas are stopped. All these Pakistanis are going to be sent back, and then
Sir,
the
we talked
impact.
about what India is doing or what India is going to do, but we know that Pakistan will not sit quietly and they will respond. So, what are the chances and what are the ways Pakistan is going to respond? How do you find this?
You see, in my view, I'm quite certain what Pakistan is likely to do, whether they do it or not, time will tell. But they are going
Hmm,
to ratchet up certain attacks across the line of actual control, the line of control, the LOC.
hmm,
They will carry out these attacks across the LOC. They will try
hmm,
to, carry out some attacks on one of our posts or something, right?
hmm,
But it'll be restricted to that. I don't think they're going to go across the IB. And the target, because there is no terrorist in India, so the target has to be a military target. They can't just hit at the civilians.
hmm,
So once they hit the military target,
hmm,
then that means we are fully authorized to hit on their military targets anywhere in Pakistan. Now, how they respond to that? That means this is the first level of escalation. If they hit our military target, then we are going to hit their military targets very hard. So after that, what they do, we will see, because that will be the next step of escalation. And if that escalates, then I think we are going to go across the international border and resolve the problem in a different manner. But then it may lead to an all out war. But escalation will be the responsibility of the Pakistan military. We will do whatever we have to do. If they behave now and stop, then we will not use the military option anymore. The other options will continue. Otherwise, the other option will, as it is, continue, and the military option will be added to those options.
Sir, one thing which we can't ignore, looking at the current condition of Asian region, we know what's happening in Bangladesh. Bangladesh border हमारा disturb है. China के साथ हमारे संबंध, we all know how it is. Nepal में there are instabilities also. So neighboring region में इतना कुछ चलते हुए, now India is in almost in war with Pakistan. How do you see the coming days, sir? For
Now,
this reason mainly.
one thing, I would like to tell all your viewers, in my view, China is not going to enter into a battle, into this particular battle between India and Pakistan. China is very smart. They are not going to use their army troops to get killed to support Pakistan. What China will do, I'm quite certain, and they will do it, but there's nothing new. They have been doing it all this time. They will supply
Yes.
them weapons, they'll supply them ammunition, they'll supply them intelligence. All that they have already been doing, and they'll continue doing so. So, as far as China is concerned, as far to me, it is okay. They let them do what they want. We'll handle China and we'll handle Pakistan. There's going to be no direct confrontation by the Chinese to come and attack India.
Or
We
what
will
about
respond
Bangladesh side, sir?
now.
Because ISI is very much involved in what's
Yes.
happening in Bangladesh. We all know.
Now, Bangladesh, I
Yeah.
think, this is my view as far as Bangladesh is concerned. I think what is going to happen is they will get the message what has happened in Pakistan.
Hmm,
I think Muhammad Yunus is going to be a very, very worried Muhammad Yunus.
hmm,
I think the Jamaat in Pakistan is going to be a very worried Jamaat.
hmm,
And I think the civil society in Bangladesh will be looking at what is happening in Pakistan with great happiness. Their political parties, both the political parties, the Awami League and the BNP, the two major political parties, I think there will be a sense of relief in them. Thank God this is happening, because now they can keep the Islamists in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, under check. This is a direct message to the Islamists in Bangladesh.
hmm,
What has happened in Pakistan will happen to you.
hmm,
And I have a feeling India will actually give them a message now very shortly. Please mend your ways, otherwise, there are going to be consequences.
hmm.
Nepal, Nepal has been having this problem all this time. They'll resolve their own political disputes. It is an
Yes.
internal matter for Nepal. I don't think India should get involved in that. Otherwise, Sri Lanka is stable. Maldives is stable. All the other surrounding countries have stabilized now. There's no major problems. Myanmar is a problem area as far as India is concerned, but there's nothing much we can do with the civil war which is taking place there. It is a different thing altogether. It Dealing with Pakistan is not going to impact on what is happening in Myanmar. So that will be a different issue. So when I look at this, entire area, the entire South Asian region, from Tibet and coming down Bangladesh, and coming down to the oceans, and then of course Pakistan and Afghanistan, I don't see any problems. For Pakistan, the problems are going to multiply, because they are going to have problems from Afghanistan now. You see, the Afghans are very upset with what Pakistanis are doing. So the Afghans are going to give them a lot of concern on the Durand line. The Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan is going to increasingly target the Pakistan army, and the Baluchis are going to target the Pakistan army. So where does the Pakistan army go? They are in trouble, and they will have to handle their internal affairs as well as being dealt with by India. So let us see what happens in the days to come. But we are not going to let go. We will do whatever has to be done.
Sir, one last question. Just after the Operation Sindoor, it was US Embassy first, India has informed. And we know that Pakistan will also reach out to US. How US is going to play his role in this conflict?
You see, the United States has, I go by what President Trump stated. He was, when he came for the press briefing, he says, when I was coming in for the press briefing, I was informed about the attack, right? So he says, it's a shame. The words he used, it is a shame, and I hope it ends very quickly. Now, please understand what he really meant. He meant, finish it quickly, let's have peace again, right? No condemnation either side. Because President Trump has said Pakistan is our friend and India is also our friends. But
So
India
it's going to be play a balancing act kind of.
Basically, he will just hope that India finishes whatever it has to do quickly, and then he will tell Pakistan, keep quiet and behave. I think that is how the Americans will see it. But as far as India is concerned, we will do what has to be done now. India is a big boy. We are no longer going to play to anybody else's this thing. It is not that we want to start a war and finish Pakistan militarily. That is not the aim. The aim is simply to prevent terrorism from Pakistan soil coming into India. That's all. But with this, I think there's going to be many dramatic changes are going to take place. You will find the Jammu and Kashmir, the Union Territory changing. You will find Bangladesh having a review of what they have been doing, right? And I also see stability coming into Nepal. So I foresee this as, a time when peace is going to come back into South Asia, where Pakistan gets totally isolated.
Thank you, Mr. Katoch, for joining us today and for your insights. We are bracing for more action from Bharat and maybe some from Pakistan.
Thank you.
Thank you all once again.